Hello, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. And to my regular fan base, welcome back. So, in this live video, I wish to go over for the first time an actual voice recording of my solicitor proclaiming that next year, Dada, or Dad, my son's dad, is going to win my child back. But, and you're about to hear this, not just hear me flapping my yaps, but before we get into that, as the title suggests, it's not about winning, it's about something else that's missing. So, what I will give me a few moments and I will explain this to you. So, for the past year and a half, and first and foremost, I've got no regrets at all. In any way, shape, or form, do I have no regrets because had I not fight it as much as I had fight it for my son, I would be in the exact same position next year that I am or have been this year. And through a relentlessness and a cause much higher than myself, being God's, I've been able to find energy in my reserve tanks, energy that I never even knew existed. This past year and a half, it's been absolutely crazy because uh, it's cost me so much time, work, energy. My health took a hit physically, but it's all been done because of my boy. And my son knows that Dada has always given his entire soul for that child. And he knows this. I posted a live video a few weeks ago when him and I were at contacts. And he was actually giving me my flowers, saying, "Yeah, Dad is this and that." It was beautiful. And it was just lovely to be acknowledged. And this is why I say, your children, they'll remember you. You know, whether it's goods or whether it's bad, energy alike, your children feel everything. They don't learn so much by words. Children learn through body language, they learn through mannerisms, and they learn through energy behind the words. And every time I've been with my son, I'm going to play his voice recording now. You're going to hear my soon, or I should say, you're going to hear my solicitor declaring. I can't say side note. I can't show as much as I would like because we're in court, family court next January, and the leash is still on me. I am able to show my own solicitor, and this is what I'm going to do right now. I've been deliberately pulling it off because I know that once I show this, people are going to want to know the long-term storytelling and what's this and what's that. But I've been done it with intention to because there's only so much that I can share now until family court January. And then when we get through family court, then that's it, finished. Then the leash is off. Then I can share if all this makes sense. This is why I've deliberately held off until now. Um, but with all this said, going back to like feeling, your children do feel your effort as a man and as a father, and whether it's good or bad energy, they will feel everything. You know, again, it's the energy, it's the mannerisms, it's the body language behind the words. It's not the words per se. It's that. It's the energy, mannerisms, and body language behind the words. Um, but with all this said, lately I've decided to choose peace. Lately, I feel that I'm in a good position because again, I have no regrets at all, because it's got me to where I am now. And, you know, because of me being so transparent and honest with what I've been posting, and people were right. You know, you're going to lose all your fans, and when you post your parental and alienation series, and I did. This is true, and I know this for sure because on my spare profile where I'm just going and I'm doing what everybody else does. I'm doing what everybody else does, and I'm posting the good stuff. Then all of a sudden, yeah, that my spare profile is really skyrocketing in terms of popularity when I'm only posting the good things. So in other words, me posting what I've been posting in the short term, yes, this has really taken a hit. I've noticed this in the decline in my numbers, viewers, as opposed to before I posted my parental alienation series. However, the long term storytelling, and when I have my son back next year, this is what people don't understand. My credibility is going to skyrocket. And as you will hear in this voice recording now, you'll hear a lady, and this is my solicitor. On this particular day, or sorry, on this particular day, I had my CBT assessment done because I had to undergo 3 tests. I had to undergo a psychiatric tests because I've got ADHD, passed that with flying colours. I had to do a hair strand test. I passed that with flying colours, and I had to do a CBT test, and I passed that with flying colours. So, going back to the CBT test, this voice note that you're about to hear, this is following a grueling, and I'll actually show you because it's time stamped. Look, can you see this? 6 hours and 44 minutes, right? Of when I was being observed by CBT lady, cognitive, right? And these things. And I did that. I just like my boy gave me energy, whether it was dealing with the authorities, ranging from the school or the social worker or the lady reporting to the court or the contact service facilitator at contact centers, or so many avenues that I've had to go down. The independent reviewing officer, the amount of mentally speaking, I've jumped. When they said jumped, I said how high, because I wanted to do whatever I could do in order to, get my son back by complete test as soon as possible, doing everything that I was asked. However, I would have a massive chip on my shoulder, a big attitude, and I did. Anybody in my shoes would, and I can't reveal because until next January, due to court proceedings, and that leash is still on me. However, I am able to reveal this, and I'm going to play this now. And what you will hear right now is my solicitor, and this was back. This is rough. Sorry about that. This was roughly just over 1 month ago. So you will hear this now. What I'm most pleased about, and again, we can't take too long That's my fault because I talk a lot. Really, this is the least, as far as I'm concerned, this is the least that can be done for you. I appreciate it. For all your life, what you've gone through, what is 6, 7 hours? Why I think this is so crucial is because she's so independent. Yes. She's going to be able to say, okay, this is a path. You've got no disorders. Right. What she was trying to say was there's a couple of traits here and there, some of which are desirable, some of which aren't, which any of us will have, will display, depending on how we answer a set of questions. But interestingly, much attributed to the fact that anyone, which is what the local authority aren't getting with autism, would display higher elevations in certain areas because of your communication style. So I'm really pleased. The thing I'm most pleased about is her saying it will not impact your ability to. And me too. But if I may, and I've got one more thing to tell you. No, it's great, but let's hold off. Like, you're right, autism accentuates it. But hang on a second. Leave autism out for a second. To me, I'm going to talk to you both, because you know me as only I can, from the French, raw, honest, brutal. The tax emphasis. Autism aside, it astounds me that people can't use their fucking brain. How can you not go off the rails? Autism aside, yeah, when you're living with schizophrenia, how can you not have paranoia? When you're living with insanity, but also heroin addicts, when you've had what's happened to you in your life,
excuse it, but it's a big part.
But also, it was interesting what she said.
Right.
Well, obviously, the anxiety we're not surprised about because we know it from your medical records. She clearly isn't up to speed with that yet, but she's diagnosed it. But said it's like residual from trauma. But anyway, aside from that, I've got some sad news is that I'm moving on from here.
Okay.
I've been approached to work for an amazing opportunity.
Cool.
But not until December.
Okay.
So I wanted to let you know.
That's alright.
I will no longer be working with you from that point onwards.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I thought that you'd feel that way, but obviously Annie May is still here.
Okay.
And
cool.
I've spoken to one of my colleagues who I think would be best for you, called Tracy.
Appreciate it.
She said she'd like to come meet you.
Okay.
I said, well, whilst you're here, do you mind?
Sure.
I told her all about you. She's an older lady.
Okay.
She's very no nonsense.
Good, like me, we'll get on like house first.
She used to be a journalist.
Yeah.
And now she's like, as a lawyer, and she's no stone unturned. I've explained to her your, everything about your case really. The sadness, the tragedy, the complexities, how you come across. She doesn't have a work mobile phone, so unfortunately she will not be able to receive.
That's okay. I can send an email and
But if you want to send her video,
yeah.
that's fine.
Thank you for doing it.
But I'm still here for another 2 months.
True. 2 months.
And my aim is, obviously, I'm coaching and training Ellie May.
Yeah.
Tracy obviously will have a very detailed handover.
Yeah.
But we've done the hard work now.
Here we go.
We don't feel case where we want it to be, but I will not be leaving until I've made sure things like what this Dr. Corson said about the extra risk assessments, we need them in place. And what I will make sure is that when I leave, I give you a key action plan. That this is what, as a team, I want you all to be working on to get the case the best outcome. I can't see Austin coming back to you in January or whenever it concludes in March. I can see him coming back to you. I can. I'm not saying right now. I can't see a special guardianship order being made in Granny's favour for a number of reasons. I think there needs to be a care order. I will just say one more thing. You said you love her. We've asked for mediation. I'm going to chase him about that again. I'm also going to chase him for the fact they haven't come back to me over his education and maths and how he's doing and what work he's getting.
Marks on his neck, which there were none. The report.
So I do have some follow up with them. I want to hold them to account for. My other thing is this: like, she's not perfect. She's not a perfect package. There's things she's done that you're not upset. But if you push it too far, there is no alternative at the moment. So I do not want that for Austin. I do not want history repeating itself.
So what they were talking about there is, I can't say too much, but what I can say is that proof video evidence I put forth to my solicitor, that's the lady you just heard speaking, had I had shown that evidence to the local authority, my boy would go into care. Now, the reason for this is because all the absolutely deplorable and disgusting lies made about me. And I can't say too much here either until that leash is off. I'm going to. But just to clarify that. So let me keep playing.
But when would I have, do you mean that I wouldn't have my son back at all to this point?
Oh no, you will. If contact continues to go well.
Gets good now. Here we go.
Those reports show you are not going to be, your difficulties will not stop you being a good dad for your son.
Okay.
We then need a risk assessment to show them, well, the risks that they're worried about. What they see as a threat is your communication style as an autistic person. Do you see what I mean? They completely misread the narrative. So once we've got the risk sorted, he can move to overnight stay.
This is great.
Then he can move to holidays. And then, in a year, 2 years, you can start making an application for discharge.
I'm asking you the impossible here, but just rough approximate answer. Come next March, can I at least have him away from contact?
Here we go.
Oh, I think you could have him outside contact centre in the community. Let's do small steps. Let's work towards those small steps. Austin is going to start to get older. He's going to start expressing his wishes and feelings and say, I want my daddy now. I love you, Gran, but I really need my dad.
Yeah.
See, let me pause here. You know, this is the thing. He's not a baby anymore. He's a boy now. You know, he's 6 now. And it's becoming evident week by week by week. And I'm exposing it piece by piece by piece. How neglected that boy is physically, or physical attends not being met, academical, slash educational attends not being met either. And in all fairness, a 72-year-old lady, how can it be when, I mean, I commend her, my mother-in-law, for being able to get up for the school runs, and no disrespect, what energy is left for her? There isn't much. Now, but I only care to the proportion of my own child's development, and in comparison, I don't care. What I care about is my son and having his needs met. So this is what the lady that you hear speaking, being my solicitor, is pulling forth and making reference towards, that Granny isn't perfect, and that's just the style of it. The amount of disgusting lies, I can't say now. I will next year, but I've taken the high roads. I want to get on peacefully for my son, and I've been posting this in my Facebook stories. So let me continue with the voice audio, and now I've put this forth and explained.
It's going to be fine. It's been a lot. It's been a lot in your life. I'm going to secretly,
No, thank you. Appreciate
quickly
it.
get Tracy. She is a character. You think you're a character. You think I'm a character.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
how did you find that today?
It was very intense,
Yeah.
but also rewarding.
Yeah.
I feel like I came across in a very real, raw, brutal, honest, pure way, as I do. I keep myself accountable, as you guys know, and I felt like I was true to my heart and soul. I wasn't fake. I think overall it was good.
That's good.
Overall.
Yeah.
How do you?
So I just want to pause here and explain. It feels really good to not be fake, to not be fake like most people are. Compulsive liars, they leave patterns, and it feels good when you tell the truth. You leave a pattern, or you leave a trail of purity, honesty, accountability. I love telling the truth. I love not being a liar. And yes, my attitude has, I could have got this sorted out perhaps a lot sooner had I just been a fake, fill in the blank, like everybody else. But what does that do? What does that do negatively? Well, two things. One, you're lying to yourself. So your integrity goes out the window. Your confidence goes out the window. You've just taken it up the fill in the blank. And therefore, in turn, you're unhappy because you're not true to yourself. At least that's how I feel. And number two, that's declaring, even if it's just subconsciously, that what individuals are doing to you when they mug you off and F you over, that it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And that's my honest, real, raw, and brutal intentions. Now, long term, it's been a lot, like long term speaking, it's been much longer to get to the point where I am now. However, the good news is that people who I deal with, they know me. They get the best of me, they get the worst of me, they get the ugly of me. But I'm always me. I'm never fake, ever. And that's what I love, because long term, when people say that, when individuals, in authority, and they know that you're real and real to the core, accountable to the T, guess what happens? Your authority of your presence, your authority of how you come across is valid. Your authority, as in your words, they mean something and they're not fake. And when people know that about you, that you don't care how you come across, you don't care like, oh, I'm supposed to look good, but like you will mean everything you say, then that serves you very, very well. It's got its negatives. It also has its positives. Because when individuals know that what you say when you speak it, you mean it, that's what's helped me out. So I just want to share this. Let's continue with the voice audio. There's 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't here, but I mean, at least it's done now.
In terms of the note taken.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think it sounds promising as well. She seemed to really understand you and work with you, which is what I think is really important
Patience.
to any client. But no, I think it'll be fine, and you don't know, done both assessments.
And she did have a lot of patience as
She
well.
did, she
Like,
really
a
did.
lot, a lot.
She did.
For sure.
She did. That's important, I think.
Oh, it is, right? I think like it's important to like learn to be a listener
Yeah.
and like taking information, absorb it.
This is Tracy.
Hi. Hello, Tracy.
Hi,
Good to see you.
nice to meet you.
How are
I
you?
feel we've spoken once.
I think we
before
might
on the
have.
phone.
Yes, I recognise your tone, your
Yes.
voice. Yes.
Hello.
Do you know, shall I get you a seat?
Don't worry.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ellie Mae's got to go catch a
Of
train
course.
in a
No,
minute.
it's just late.
We need to go, let's go. But yeah, so I wouldn't ideally want a transition, Christopher, but I know you'll be in good hands, and we just wanted the chance for Tracy to meet you, so you know, she knows the measure of the man, who she's dealing with. I've already given Tracy a rundown about how we work with you, what works well for you, your communication style, what you appreciate, what you don't appreciate. And really we talked about threshold, haven't we? Whether it's actually even, we discussed that earlier.
Like, we're just to double and even triple down on that point, I'm very like real. I'm very like raw, honest, accountable.
That's all right. I can be quite
And-
honest too.
And I've been prepped about you. She goes, you think you're bad, and she adds it to me then.
Yeah, I said, you think you're clever,
Yeah.
you talk guys, wait till you meet
But
Tracy.
and it's true. But this is why a lot of people, I think, don't like that. Because when you don't fit the carbon copy, when you take the easy way and fake who you are, right? And a lot of people do this, but then majority do this. And what happens when you're very real, honest, for sharp, tongue, and direct? People view you as a threat because you know your path, you know your work, you know yourself. But when you keep when you're very honest, you might not be right all the time, but we can also like respectfully disagree, isn't it? And like look at the other viewpoint. That's where we're fundamentally under debate. We can swallow our ego, even when we don't agree on things professionally. We can learn, listen to the other viewpoint, right? But a lot of people won't do this, number one, nor will they have the guts to be real and raw and honest.
You're very reflective, so sometimes in our meetings, if I've given you a view or you've given me one, you'll often come back afterwards and say, oh, I've reflected on what you said, and you were right, and I'm sorry about that, but you weren't right about this for these reasons, and that's always really good to work with.
And to add to your point, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you don't realise this, but when you calm your mind down, once the emotional dysregulate, and you've had time to calm down, you reflect, and then you're like, okay, I fucked up. Excuse me, I messed up here, and then you can acknowledge.
Yeah, we're not in court until January. Psychological assessment is basically the conclusion is there are some issues, but not insurmountable. Nothing that will stop him being a good enough parent. She says she wants to do an addendum report to directly answer that question about his parenting, because this was all about diagnosis ultimately. So she's going to recommend an addendum to address parenting and then a risk assessment so that we can demonstrate to the court that despite all these issues, he's now done a risk assessment, and Christopher's aim is to move from a contact centre to the community, Christopher's aim is to move from a contact centre to the community, from the community to overnight stays, to holidays, to eventually, can my son come back to me? He's been very realistic about it, but what he's worked incredibly hard today, so I won't keep him much longer, it's been very intense, but today has been about getting independent evidence on the table to understand Christopher more, his difficult, complex background, and how we can evidence that he can still be a dad, no matter how unusual he is, how he presents, how he's misunderstood because of his presentation.
And if I may just double down on Anne's point, obviously, like, I've shown you a lot of videos. I don't do things by the status quo, but I'm a very good dad. You've seen this, right? I emotionally, like, pour my heart and soul into my boy. Like, have you got a minute just to look at something? I don't know.
I don't think it's probably
No,
the
that's
right time.
fine.
It's not, I won't, it's not that I won't.
That's understand.
What we're going to do is, you've got to get your train.
Yeah, of course.
So if you go now, say goodbye to Christopher.
No, love to
Nice
meet
meeting
you.
you, and you.
Good to
Speak
meet
soon.
you.
Take care.
Take
And
care
then
of yourself.
I'll see you.
Yeah, so.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We're going to have a meeting on about the 5th of November,
Yeah, you know.
where we're just going to talk about this case, where we're up to, do a handover. Tracy's going away for a week or so, and then me and Ellie will continue to be here, and then Tracy will be back, and then there'll be a handover with me still overseeing it.
And also that Ellie May will still be
She'll still be
here and
helping
available,
Tracy.
so that, you know, that you won't have an entire change of
No.
person.
It's okay. You know,
Consistent.
it's good. Like, you,
Well,
it's beautiful because, you know, we can't stay in the same place
No.
forever. We have to, progression equals
That's
happiness. So you've got opportunity and to growth, and it's
that's
beautiful.
right.
It's good.
I've been here 4 years. I've been very
That's right.
happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for a change, but an opportunity came. I didn't
Right.
realise we needed to change until I was presented with that, and I was like, well, I'd be really silly to turn it
And
down.
money's a big part, but it doesn't have to be the entire part. It could be emotion, right? It could be like a meaning behind it. Let's be honest, money is mostly, there's other reasons as well.
Yeah, a lot of growth and really interesting work and stuff.
Spiritual, emotional development.
But anyway,
Yeah.
glad we had a chance to meet.
Yes, I'm glad we met.
I am too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, and you know, if when I'm dealing with you in future.
So this lady here you hear speaking, she's as you heard from the audio, she is going to be my new solicitor, as my current solicitor, lovely lady, but she's got as you heard, a fantastic opportunity. But I just want to kind of little side note here, you know, because money's very important, obviously, but I think even more importantly is our emotional happiness, right? And you know, look, man, without sounding cocky, but I'm going to, I'll use myself as an example. I put my son on a pedestal way above work. This is why I posted my parental and alienation series. I knew that my audience would take a hit, but I also knew, like, exponentially negatively take a hit. And it did. This is why I've got a spare profile, and I'm just posting the best parts like everybody else does, right? And it's growing so much. But meanwhile, in this very post marks the comeback story of me and my son. Next January, he won't be with me as in my place, but he will be with me in the community. And because you heard it, you know, from my solicitor, I can't see, or she can't see me having my son back at mine in January. I can see you, / she can see me having my son back in the community January. March, we'll be back, or he will be back at mine. And then next June, we can just July, we can push for our first holiday. So the tide's shifting, and it's shifting good. And this marks the start, this very post right here, of our comeback story, and it's gonna be epic. There's many more insights to come, audios to come. I can't say now because the leash is on, but next January, oh, the amount of audios I'm going to show everybody, and how to keep people accountable for their egregious and disingenuous, false, fabricated, deplorable statements made about you to spew their own narrative and propaganda. The amount of audios I have that's going to expose and them for who they are, and teach other vulnerable people, or people who think that they can be by the authorities, or sorry, people that the authorities think that they can walk over. Not me, you know. See, that's the thing. They mess with the wrong person. I'm a wolf. I ain't no sheep. I'm a wolf. And I've done things the hard way, but I've done it the right way. And, you know, I know that in the end, everything's going to be fine. I've chosen peace now. And I'm just sitting back now and going through my, you know, weekly contacts, waiting until Christmas next year. Sorry, next month, and then next year, just weighing it out, and then wait until next January, family court, and then we go from there. Let me continue with the voice audio. There's 4 minutes left. But yeah, this new lady Tracy, just want to say, she's like me, very direct, very old school. She's like me, old school, no fluff, no filter, no fake. So we're gonna get on really well, and I'm glad that she's representing me. So yeah, let me keep playing.
We can do it, you know, sometimes a mixture of phone calls, video
Yeah.
calls, we can make sure we can touch base, and then you can still see who you're speaking
Yes.
to, and that, you know, that you may find that reassuring, I find that quite.
No problems. No, yeah. Look, ask Anne. I never want to say this because I want to look good. I speak my mind. But, and I say this from the heart, because I've said many things where how it's supposed to behave, I do the reverse, but I'm always real to me. Now, on the surface, it might look bad. However, it does have a good thing, because it means that when I say things, I mean them. And the fact that you're old school, you're like me, we're going to get on well, because like you, I'm very direct. I'm very to the point, but I call people out on their bullshit, but I also keep myself accountable. I shouldn't be sorry.
Don't apologise. You're introducing yourself.
Yeah.
This is your case, this is your
Can't
son.
wait.
No, it's fine. No, it's absolutely fine. We'll find a,
You'll find a level.
we'll find a way that we operate. It's going to be different. You know, we'll always be different. We've all got different ways of interacting. But, you know, I will have a thorough knowledge.
I like old school. I prefer old school.
I'll have a thorough knowledge of where we are with your case and where we're taking
The mentality, I mean, not the vandal, just like the mentality in general.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why I thought, as I've got to know
nonsense.
you, who will be the best fit for you,
Yeah.
and who will be able to tell you, no, Christopher, you need to pipe down.
Yeah.
Benham, I'm going to see you out now.
Cool. And that's why.
See, when she says, you know, you need to pipe down, this is true, but this is true because, or to the proportion of so many fake people, and they can't handle real or reality or truth. So, you know, you've got to be like everybody else to a certain degree when you're a wolf and when you're real to the core and you know, have accountability to a T. To a T. You know, when you're in that 1%, yeah, you gotta fit that narrative, right? You know, so to a certain degree when we need to, I guess, right? But this is why I have to work for myself. I can't work for people and be in that fake world. It's not me. It's not me, man.
Oh,
You take that with you.
They won't let you out, I don't think.
yeah.
You've had a very long day here, haven't you?
Yeah, my boy.
Since 9.
Did it for my boy, hear that? Did it for my boy.
It's amazing how your children can give you energy. When you're like beating up and you're dead inside and you've got no energy to give, it's amazing how the energy your children will give you. Right? So it's true. Well, I am tired. Yeah, it was.
And it'll be even more, hit you even more when you leave, probably.
And it did.
Sleep on the tube.
Well, try not
Set
to.
an alarm before eating
So,
or whether
yeah.
you're out.
As long as you're not on the circle, so you just go round and round
Oh,
and
yeah.
round.
Definitely.
Sounds like the story of his life.
Take
doesn't it?
Thank you. Love you.
Yeah, story of my life. This is so true. But this brings me to my final segue, and this is my longest video yet. Nearly 35 minutes, and it'll probably be close to 40 minutes by the time we're done. Double than what I've done in my parental alienation. Although this has provided for the first time a taste of what's to come regarding accountability, regarding the audios that don't lie, rather than listening to me flapping my yaps, right? You hear other individuals And man, when next year, come January, man, let me tell you something. I am taking scalps by way of suing, but also by way of exposing via Facebook. Oh, we're just getting started here, you know. But yeah, this is going to provide invaluable insights towards helping, and will embody what I'm going to teach going forwards. How to stack up your case, stack up and stack up and stack up and stack your case, compound it with evidence, with tenacity, with integrity, with purity, with accountability, with truth. This is going to serve as a taster towards what is to come. Let me keep playing the audio.
And we'll be talking in due course.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, lady. Thank you.
I need to see you at. I think you just need to
Oh,
obviously
yeah, submit the card.
Yeah, and then submit the card.
Honestly, thank you. Lovely to see you. Thank you. God bless. Cheers, guys.
All right, so that's everything. All I wish to finally say is there's a time for filing, and as I won't leave people hanging who've made it this far. Yeah, there's a time for fighting, and there's a time for walking away. And as I say in the title, I have, and I'm glad I've done what I've done for the last year and a half. But now it's time to just, take the high roads and take the, integrity way. Take the high road way of doing the right thing, and that's just stepping down peacefully, letting things play out. And my son loves his nana, my son loves his dada. So let's see if it will be reciprocated by me wanting to do things peacefully. And going back to my point regarding children, see, children will remember you, the good and the bad. They'll remember your efforts of the good you've done and anything you've done to harm them. Say if a parent wants to go to court and for their own ego and harm the child long term in the process, that's going to have negative consequences on the child. So let's see. I've done the right thing. Will I feel in my heart and soul is the right thing to do? And that's step down peacefully, no more fighting. And that's what I'm going to do right now and have been doing recently. And now that my cup is full, I'm able, in terms of my energy, I'm able to not only have that energy pumped back into myself, but on my spare profile, things are going so well now. And soon I'll be in a position to serve other clients now that my energy is full. And that comes from stepping down, no more fighting, no more toxic energies by being in a peaceful, harmonious state. So that's what I want to share. I know this is a very, very long video, and God bless you to anybody that's made it to the end. But I hope that it somewhat provides a taster of what is to come, and in terms of my voice audios and what I can do when we're out of court next year, in order to showcase to the world of how tyrannical that the authorities can be, but also more importantly, additionally, how to combat that tyrannical behavior with by being so real, not being afraid, being peaceful, political, whilst being respectfully aggressive. These are all things that I'm going to teach, and I will do that. I will. So I'm going to end this live video now. Much love, peace and blessings. God bless you. I love you all my fans. And yeah, this long-term storytelling, man, yes, short-term, it has cost me a lot of things. It really has. But this is the start now of our comeback story. And it's going to be epic. Salut, much love all.